Hi, did you know that one of the most important things to sound like an advanced user of English is to use phrasal verbs? We'll see what these are, but today we're going to talk about something related to communicating and phrasal verbs that relate to that. Hi, I'm Ajit from Capshine. Capshine is a revolutionary learn it together English fluency program. With Capshine, learning English is easy, quick, fun, affordable, and effective. And we promise a whole new you in 6 months or less. So what are these phrasal verbs? Well, phrasal verbs are a combination of verbs and adjectives or verbs and prepositions. That said, phrasal verbs are actually words of these combinations that have a meaning outside of what it literally means. Let me show you an example. If I say someone is looking up a word in the dictionary, are they looking up? No, they're not. What this means, or the phrasal or the idiomatic meaning, is that they're referring or searching for it. Similarly, if you look forward to something, you're not looking forward, but you're actually excited about something, right? So these are phrasal verbs. They have meanings outside of what their literal meaning suggests. So let's look at some of these which relate to communicating. The first phrasal verb is finding common ground. Again, this doesn't mean that you actually look at a ground. That's not what it means. What it means is that you're finding things common or similar with each other, with you and someone else. For example, a great way to keep conversations going is to try to find common ground. So if you can figure out that the other person is also watching the same series that you are watching, that's common ground, and that's a great place to start conversations and keep them moving, to find common ground. Let's look at the next one. The next one is, well, it's a little absurd, but it's a great one that you can use. It means from the horse's mouth. So this essentially means that you're getting information from a very valid and authentic source, or from the actual source itself, from the horse's mouth. Let's look at an example. I have it from the horse's mouth that there will be generous hikes in pay this year. So let's say you have this from the source, let's say the CEO of the company or the head HR person in the company, and you've got this information from them, then you've got it from the horse's mouth, meaning you have it from a very credible source. It's not really a rumor, even though it's not fact and not known publicly, it is from a credible source, from the horse's mouth. The next one is get your wires crossed. When you get your wires crossed, just as with in telephone lines way back when you could have cross connections, what happens is that one of them is saying one thing or is thinking they're talking to someone, and the other person thinks that they're talking to someone else, but they're not. Similarly, if you have an idea and you think of a situation a particular way, and another person has a very different idea about the same situation, then you have your wires crossed. For example, he got his wires crossed. What part of India are you from? He asked. Canada, came the reply, right? So this shows that someone is confused, that there's a confusion in the communication. So when that happens, you get your wires crossed. Another way to say this is to get your lines crossed. Same thing. Another one is in black and white. So let's say you have, or you're talking to your boss, or you're talking to someone where you're making a deal of some sort and getting promises. It's a good idea to get it in black and white. What that means is in writing or in a legal form, so that you can be sure that it will be legit, right? It's not just in words, but in a form that is legally usable. We have a strict, clear rule in black and white that this sort of behavior will not be tolerated. So it's not just an unwritten rule, but it's a rule that's been written. It's probably in the company's policy, right? In black and white, in writing, in a legal tender of sorts, in black and white. And of course, come out of your shell. This should bring an image of a snail coming out of its shell, right? Or a turtle coming out of its shell. So when does that happen? When the animal feels safe and secure. So when someone is in their shell, they're shy and they're timid, but when you come out of your shell, you are adventuring and you're trying something new. Similarly, to come out of your shell is to be bold and come out of your shyness. For example, with Capshine, you're bound to come out of your shell even if you think you are very timid and shy, right? And why is that? Let me take this few seconds to talk just about that. So with Capshine, you get a 30-day free membership, and with this, you get access to speaking opportunities, you get to learn and practice as a group. You have access to monthly fluency reports, a personal coach, and customized feedback. More than that, you get access to daily micro lessons and live classes through which you can get your doubts clarified and build your foundations to become a more confident user of the English language. And you're very likely to come out of your shell when it comes to English. Great, let's look at more phrasal verbs, shall we? Go off on a tangent. You might have heard of tangents in mathematics in school, right? It's a line that goes away from the center. So if someone goes off the topic of the center, then they're going off on a tangent. For example, our boss goes off on a tangent and often talks about totally unrelated things during meetings, right? I'm sure you've experienced this yourself, where there's someone who keeps going off topic and going off on a tangent. Another one is in the loop. When you're in the loop, you know exactly what's happening, you're up to date with everything that's going on in a particular situation. For instance, not many in the company know what was going on, but the CEO was almost certainly in the loop. So he was aware of everything that was going on himself. And of course, to touch base. This is actually from a baseball reference, right? It's a game played in America. Where if you touch base, you're safe, you are updated, right? You've updated your position in the field. Similarly, when you touch base in conversation, in communication, what you're doing is that you're checking up on another person and making sure everything is fine, right? For instance, in my line of work, a short phone call is often necessary to touch base and update our client on new developments. So this is not constant communication, this is once in a while communication to touch base and let them know what's going on. To touch base. And finally, spill the beans. So if someone spills the beans, it means that they couldn't hold a secret, that they gave away a secret that they are not supposed to. For example, you need to plan Sharon's surprise birthday party, but let's not include Francis in this. He will definitely spill the beans, meaning that he can't hold a secret, he will go and tell her that she has a surprise party about to happen, right? Spill the beans. Great, I hope you found this video useful. Make sure you use these phrasal verbs related to communication in your everyday use as well. And of course, if you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell notification to not miss another video from us, and do not forget to get your 30-day free trial by going to capshine.com or downloading the app from the Play Store. Thanks for watching.